Hey everyone, this is Kevin Powell, civil and human rights activist, Grammy-nominated poet, Tupac Shakur biographer. I want to talk about something that's been on my heart for a long time now: democracy, democracy, democracy. Listen, y'all, when I think about my own family history and I think about the history of this country, we didn't start the way where we are now. We had to fight for the rights of Black people, other people of color, for the rights of women, for queer folks, for disabled folks. We can go down the list of people who were dissed and discriminated against. Irish folks, Jewish folks, Italian American folks, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, so many different types of people. Democracy means, to me, everyone has the opportunity to have an opportunity. Everyone's treated fairly, no matter who they are. No racism, no sexism, no homophobia, transphobia, classism, ableism, ageism, any of that. No hatred of people because of their religious background or religious beliefs. And when we move away from that as a country, which we've been doing the last few years, it means that we're moving away from democracy. When you think about the civil rights movement, we keep thinking about Dr. King. It wasn't just him. It was all kinds of women and men, people of all different ages and backgrounds. There were Black folks who made the civil rights movement happen, but there were white folks and other folks who were allies as well. And that transformed the country in ways that made it possible for me and people like me to even be first-generation college students. And so what we see happening in these times is political strife, political violence, people believing more in fear and division and violence than bringing people together, which is anti-democracy. Celebrating our differences is democracy. And so when you see all these attacks happening, a synagogue in Pittsburgh, Jewish folks killed, gun violence. A Black church in Charleston, South Carolina, gun violence. A Latinx supermarket in Texas, gun violence. A queer nightclub in Florida, gun violence. All different types of people, but all the victims of some form of hate because we've been pushing hatred, fear, and division instead of democracy for the last several years. And we have a choice with this presidential election. Are we going to look at the best examples in our history, like the civil rights movement, like the women's movement, like the gay rights movement, all these movements that were like, let's make sure everybody has an opportunity to have an opportunity in a multiracial, multicultural democracy? Or are we going to slide backwards to this kind of authoritarian place where we're going to control what people can and cannot do? In other words, the world my mother was born into, for whites only signs and for colors only signs. We may not see the signs, but in our attitudes and our behavior, we're separating people and telling some people that you're inferior, you're subhuman, you don't have any value, you stay over there. That's what we want? Is that what we want? That's not democracy.